Here with Paul Dyck, assistant coach for the Steinbach Pistons, also the marketing director. And what a warm day today. It's really starting to warm up. It almost doesn't feel like winter anymore.
I thought we were in the hockey season, but it feels like playoff time right now.
I was looking at the forecast today, Paul, and it looks like Wednesday, Thursday, +5, +4-ish. The ice at the TG Smith Center is going to melt.
Well, it's been pretty cold in there the last couple of days, so a little bit of warmth won't hurt us any.
Well, you guys had a fantastic weekend. It was a chilly weekend, but it was a good weekend. Talk a little bit about winning 2 out of 3.
Yeah, it was a good weekend for us. Going into the weekend, that was kind of what we were hoping for, and we needed to start it off at home on Friday with a win. Rakachi came up big for us, and ensured that was going to happen. And in Selkirk, we had an opportunity on Saturday to win the game, and let that one slip away. So going into Sunday, we kind of made it difficult on ourselves, but really, came up big again yesterday, and Rakachi again was just a wall in net. And so winning 2 out of 3 this weekend, that was kind of the initial goal, and how you attain that is really irrelevant, but we were able to pull it out.
And it was pretty phenomenal. I just know, getting the win against OCN kind of got the momentum going. I thought you guys could have won that Selkirk game. You were up at 1.31, so you were in every one of those hockey games, playing 3 in 3 nights. What was the highlight for you if you were to pick one thing out of that weekend?
Well, I think we were in every game again, and we're learning how to win games. I would say, playing. OCN, we're learning to play with leads. We're not relinquishing leads like we did last year, or maybe even earlier in the season. So that's one thing. I think, we're developing a character that's, if we can sneak into the playoffs, I think we'll be a tough team to play against. And, yesterday we weren't at our best early on, I felt, but Rakachi's really been keeping us in games, and Kyle gave us a spark, and the guys responded and woke up, and I think they're starting to realize what's on the line here, and it comes down to them performing on the ice each and every night.
Talking about Kyle Rouse yesterday, it was a bit odd. In that first 10 minutes, obviously Rakachi weathered the storm. The shots after that first period was, I think, 17-7. But at one point in that first period, you guys are killing off a penalty. Trent Gennick picks up the puck, fires it at your bench, which is obviously a no-no. And I saw Trent was like, oh no, what did I just do? He hit Kyle Rouse, I think, in the upper body. Didn't see, looked like it was in the head area. Explain what happened on that play.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Trent just kind of wanted to ice the puck, and he wanted to put it off the boards, but it came a little higher than he had hoped for, and it hit Kyle right in the chin, and then it went off his chin and off another player's head. So Kyle had a little cut on his chin, and we actually lost him for about 5 minutes of the game, as they weren't sure if what kind of impact it had, and if it was going to create a concussion. So we lost him for a while, but he came back. He was pretty inspired at that point, and played some passionate hockey for the last 45, 50 minutes of the game, and was a big spark for us. So yeah, he was a little upset, but he that anger translated into 2 quick goals.
Yes, and along with Kyle Rouse getting those 2 goals, the Gennick line was in 4 out of the 5 goals. They had a tremendous night last night. What was your opinion on their play, you and Rich?
Well, yeah, I think they played very, very well, and we need lines to step up like that, and that's a line that needs to chip in every so often, and they usually bring a very, they bring a big effort. They've been good for us defensively. They've got good size and speed. So, on a 3-on-3 situation, we got 3 games. Actually, we had them in 2.5 days. Someone's usually going to step up in that third game that typically doesn't, and I shouldn't say typically doesn't step up, but you're going to see guys on the score sheet typically that aren't on there as often as maybe your top line, and that's exactly what happened yesterday. So it was great to see Brock. I think Brock had 4 points. It's a great boost for him. He's been a very solid player for us this year. He's brought us a lot of leadership, and it's good to see those guys get rewarded with points sometimes.
Yeah, McCluskey's also on that line along with Trent Gennick, Brock Gennick, and Oliver McCluskey got himself a goal as well, and he now has 6 points in his last 6 games, so he's really starting to turn it up and feeling really comfortable about his game.
Yeah, he's been a very nice addition for us. I mean, he's a very consistent player. he brings a tremendous work ethic in practice and in the games. He's a good leader, and he's a student of the game. That's kind of how I'd classify Ollie.
And going back to Rakachi, I don't think we could talk about him enough. He's just been unbelievable ever since he come into Steinbach. I don't think he's really had a bad game yet. He's kept the Pistons in every single game he's been in. He's been getting 38 shots against a game, which is always tough for a goaltender, especially playing 3 games in 3 days. Like you said, 2.5 days. So with Rakachi playing this well, he's played 6 in a row, 3 games in 3 days. Is the plan to just keep playing him nonstop if he continues to play like this?
Well, it's tough to take him out of the net right now. I know if we played today, he certainly wouldn't be playing. He was pretty tired and fatigued after yesterday's game, deservedly so. But the plan is to try to get Brennan in and get some games. He hasn't been in recently, so it's tougher to kind of insert him right now. But the plan is to get him some games here and get 2 confident goaltenders going into down the stretch. But Zach is the plan is obviously for him to carry the load, and if he can keep going like this, it's difficult to take him out. We had looked at putting Brennan in on Sunday, and he's been outstanding for us. It's very difficult to chase him out of the net when he's playing the way he is.
Also on Saturday against the Selkirk Steelers, those listening to the broadcast or those in Selkirk noticed that Brett Farger, Trent Genick, and also Taylor Friesen were benched towards the last half of the third period. What was the reasoning there, and what was their response like? Was it adequate enough for you as a coaching staff the next day?
Yeah, well, in Selkirk, we felt like Brett and Trent were weren't having their best games, and we were looking for a spark in the third period, and we needed guys. We just felt they weren't going to their potential, and one, it's sometimes a motivating factor for the next game, but also we just felt at that point our best opportunity, our best shot at winning the game was with them not playing at that time. So, you know what, that game is behind us, and we always say, listen, the next day is a new day, and if you didn't play the night before, you are playing today, and we've forgotten what happened the night before. So they both responded, I thought. They both had their legs going on Sunday, and of course, like you said, Trent's line was in on the majority of the goals, so he was getting very involved. He was engaged. He was going to the front of the net, and that's what we ask of Trent, to get involved. And he's a big, strong kid that can play the body. He's not going to get tossed around down the ice very easily. When he plays with conviction and passion, he's a very effective player for us. Taylor, on the other hand, is he's still a young player for us, and I think he's got a very good future. And he was struggling a little bit in the second period in Selkirk, and very similar, I guess. I just wanted to go with the guys that I thought would give us the best opportunity to win that night. And Taylor responded and played very solid on Sunday. So, he's going to learn. He's not going to be in the lineup possibly even every night, and there's going to be times when I take him out for extended periods of a game, I let him know why, and he understands. So he'll have his day in the sun.
Right now, looking at the roster for the Steinbach Pistons, you guys have 2 scratched forwards. Last game, that was Gamlin and Dahl. And now you have Bo Leonard and also Brant Henry Norton, who are very close to getting back in the lineup. How close are they to being back with the Piston jersey on a daily basis?
Well, we're hoping that they're in the lineup here on Wednesday. I could really energize our club again, bringing them in. They bring a veteran presence. They're both big, strong players, and we're putting up some numbers for us before they got hurt. So hopefully they can kind of pick up where they left off.
So who would be at the bottom of the list? Have you guys decided yet who's right now trying to work their way onto the roster? Because it's almost like you guys have cuts now, because now you have 4 scratch players. And I know that you and Rich both agree you don't like to keep guys around because you want to give them a chance to play. And if they're sitting all the time, not good.
Yeah, we do have a difficult decision to make, and a couple of them, it looks like. And, we're going to have to look at that this week. And December 1st is one of our cutoffs. And, if we keep winning games here, obviously if we're going to make a playoff push, we'll keep our veteran guys around. And this weekend was kind of one of the, we needed to win a couple games here to kind of see which direction our club's going to go. And so it was encouraging to see the 2 wins, but now it doesn't make our decision any easier. So, often in these situations, the guys that are looking on the outside looking in, or maybe some of your younger guys or less experienced players. And yeah, it's always a tough thing to do. I think for Rich, he's been through this many more years than I have, and it's probably the aspect of coaching that he dislikes the most, I would say.
Well, it seems like he really likes to build relationships with the players. Obviously being a coach, but still trying to further these guys as much as possible. Yeah,
you do. I mean, you spend every day with them, and you are their coach, and you do. At times they might feel like we're hard on them, but at the end of the day, I mean, I can tell you that we care about them as individuals as much as we do as hockey players. Certainly, probably a lot more.
So you talked about December 1st a little bit. Is the Pistons' time to reevaluate the roster? Explain to Pistons fans what December 1st means, because I know teams have to cut down from 45 cards to 25 player cards.
Yeah, no, that's somewhat confusing, but at this point, we are allowed 45 cards up until December 1st, and that would mean we can make numerous moves up to 45. At December 1st, including the players on our roster, we can only have 25 carded players. So if you trade somebody, that would be 1 card. You bring in a new player, that's another card. And we have to have 20 players on our roster every given night. So there's not a lot of room for movement after December 1st. So you kind of have to plan ahead on where's your team going? Are you going to make trades at the trade deadline in January? Are we going to make a playoff push? So you kind of have to plan, going forward for the rest of the season, but almost into next year as well.
So if you guys got the injury bug, which you got about a month or 2 ago, after December the 1st, there'd be some serious problems.
Those are difficult things for clubs if they encounter a lot of injuries going out after December 1st. You need to rely on APs, and players in the lineup are just going to get an awful lot of ice time. There's not much you can do about it if you get the injury bug. So if you're going to get it, when we got it, that's probably the most desirable time for that.
Also looking at that trade deadline, that's January the 10th. It's only 13 games away, and then the Pistons got to decide, are we keepers this year, or are you guys going to be sellers when it comes to your 20-year-olds? Where is the line? Have you and Rich decided when you're going to say, like, hey, we're going to try to go for it, we're going to keep our 20-year-olds, and we're going to keep pushing? And where's the line when you're going to say to yourselves and the team, okay, we're going to look towards next year in the future?
Right. Well, I don't know if there's a specific date that we can choose at this point. I mean, we have to see what our record is here, but also what the teams ahead of us have been doing. If we see a couple of teams that we're chasing have been falling off the table a little, and we're in a striking position, that may be December 25th or just right around Christmas time, or it may be January 7th or 8th. So it's hard to pinpoint when that time is, when we have to make the decision. We just kind of monitor it each week, and we see the direction that our club's going right now. We had a good weekend, but we need to follow this up again. For us right now, we've been telling our boys it's playoff time for us, and that's how we have to approach every game right now.
So looking over the roster, you guys have some tough games coming up. If you look at the rosters of Winkler and the Blues, these two teams have been very high in the standings of late. Two of the best teams. At one point, they were ranked the top teams in all of the Canadian Junior Hockey League. And the games just don't seem to get easier for you guys.
No, they don't.
You play against Winkler on Wednesday and then Saturday at the MTS Iceplex against the Blues.
No, they don't. But, both of those teams we felt we can compete with. I mean, we've played them with a weaker lineup a couple times due to injuries, and we feel now with our goaltending and the way the guys are going and competing, we're getting closer to playing more and more 60-minute hockey games where we don't have as many lapses for long periods of time within a game anymore either. So, on both of those teams, they are beatable. They both have a lot of depth. They've been getting solid goaltending. I think the Blues have come back a little bit, come back to the pack. I think I'm not sure what their record would be over their last 5 or 6 games, but they're certainly not untouchable by any means. And so we feel pretty confident in who we play. I mean, we went to Dauphin. That's a very difficult place to play, and we competed with them for 60 minutes. So, the Flyers and the Blues would fall in that same category. And
so you're almost saying you can't really look at the name of the team. You just show up, play hockey, play your best, and win the game.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I look at our league, and I don't think there's a team out there that we need to fear necessarily. I mean, our slogan we've developed this year was respect all, fear none, and really that's kind of how our league is this year. There's not a powerhouse team necessarily out there, and we feel that when we've got 20 guys that are skating, and Kevin, you can probably attest to this, we're in every game, and if we get solid goaltending, there's an opportunity out there for us any given night to get the 2 points.
All right, quick looking at your fundraiser you got going on this month. Last month you gave away Jets tickets. This month you're giving away an iPod. Quickly tell the listeners about the fundraiser you guys have going on right now, trying to raise some money to construct and redesign the dressing room area.
We actually have 2 going. On Friday night, it was Scotiabank night at the game, and they also brought a Andrew Ladd Winnipeg Jets jersey that they donated to us, and they asked that we use it for the purpose of generating funds for the dressing room. So that's fantastic. So we're selling tickets for that at the games. December 21st is the draw for the jersey. Make a great Christmas gift for somebody. I'm just saying. And
I want that jersey, Paul.
There you go. Hey, you know what?
We should
I've got some tickets for you. And then the other draw is this Wednesday. It's for a 64 gig iPod. So I couldn't tell you how many songs that holds, but it sounds like an awful lot. $400 value. It also comes with a $50 app card or an Apple card, so you can use that however you like, I suppose. We could buy Angry Birds. And, so tickets are available. The draw will be following the second intermission during Wednesday's game. So
do people just buy tickets at the game, or I guess you've been selling those tickets? A few people have raffle books.
Yeah, there are a few around. I know, but they are available at the game. So anybody coming to the game also would be a fantastic Christmas gift for somebody.
Do the people have to be there to pick up their prize, or if their name gets picked, they win?
That's correct. Their name gets picked, we will contact them, and they don't have to be present.
All right, Paul. Well, all the best. Thanks for joining us here, and good luck as you guys prepare for the Flyers on Wednesday.
Thanks a lot, Kevin.